Michael, new squad of players, new one-day series. How far does that go to freshening things up after what's been a lengthy tour?
Yeah, well, look, we've obviously had the opportunity to play in Scotland recently, and we played really well. So to get a win there is a good start to this section of the tour. Some new faces, plenty of energy, which is nice. And for a couple of us that weren't involved in the T20 a chance to get away for a few days and freshen up. So I think all the boys are really excited about this part of the tour, and we'd love to leave the UK with a couple of wins under our belt as well.
There's a number of your bowlers that were involved in the Test series. The latest, Mitchell Stark, gone back home to Australia with a slight back problem. How concerned are you, given, of course, there's another Ashes series just several months away now, that the core of your bowling attack all seems to be carrying niggles after this 5-Test series?
Look, like every team, you'd love your fast bowlers to stay fit, or all your players to stay fit for every game. But unfortunately, the amount of cricket we play, the different formats we play, it's impossible these days. And especially when you've got young quicks like we do. A lot of our guys are under 25 years of age. And I think if you look through a lot of the great fast bowlers in the world through their careers, until you're really 24, 25 years of age, there's obviously going to be some concerns. And these days, like I say, the amount of cricket we're playing, I think it comes with the territory of being a fast bowler, and that's why I say they deserve a lot of credit for the work they do, and how hard it is on their bodies to continue to get up on a daily basis. I'm glad I'm a batsman with my back, that's for sure.
Well, speaking of batsmen, no David Warner in the squad might have surprised a few when it was announced, but of course Aaron Finch, following what he's done in the T20, he looks an exciting prospect, and it's a new partnership potentially at the top of the order. Yeah,
well, Sean and Aaron are off to a good start. They played really well against Scotland. Hopefully they can continue that on in this first game tomorrow. But yeah, they've both played a lot of cricket for Australia, whether it be in T20 or in the one-day setup, and I think they're both looking forward to maximising their opportunity they've been given. It's obviously always tough on any player when he gets left out of a squad, and I'm sure Davey's at home working his backside off now to do whatever he can to get picked back in the Australian one-day team. But for the guys that are here, it's about performance and making the most of this opportunity.
And just finally from me, I know it's the end of a long tour, but how important is it that you leave on a winning note, especially to say you've got England coming down to play you on home soil in just several months' time?
Yeah, like I say, this is a different part of the tour, but for our one-day cricket, we obviously didn't perform as well as we would have liked in the Champions Trophy, so we have a lot of work to do. We want to get back to the top of the tree in the one-day format, and we need to perform here. So we'll be doing everything we can to have some success throughout these 5 one-days.
Michael, what did you make of England resting some of the top guys? Do you feel like it's maybe taken a bit of sting out of the series?
Not for us. I guess we're pretty focused on our team and making sure we're doing everything we can to perform. I wasn't surprised, to be honest. I think the Ashes is a tough series, and there's plenty of tired bodies running around. There's no doubt about that. And when you win, it's obviously a lot easier to give players a rest than if you're not performing as well as you'd like.
Can you tell us why you thought it was important that you played? Because obviously you've had the same demands on you as cook, haven't you, I guess, and you've got another audition and you've got a back. So why did you think?
A little bit older as well, a little bit greyer. I think it's important that I'm here. I didn't take any part in the Champions Trophy, unfortunately, because of my injury, and I really enjoy playing one-day cricket, so I think it's important that I'm here with the team and performing and leading from the front. And like I say, I want to see this one-day team get back to where it belongs, the top of the tree, and at this stage we're going to do everything we can to play our full-strength team in every opportunity we get, and hopefully have some success. Obviously, there's times where you can't control it. Guys get injured. So there's nothing you can do about that, and I think we've seen that, I guess, in a couple of cases with our bowlers. But, we've picked anyone that's 100% fit and available for selection will take the field, and we'll try and have some success.
We talked a lot to you about Ashes, but how important a goal is the World Cup on home soil for you as a longish term goal?
Yeah, very important, but my focus is not that far ahead right now. I think the one thing I've been consistent with is, I know the Ashes is a very important series and probably the pinnacle for an Australian or English Test cricketer, but to me, every series is important for Australia. Every game you play for Australia is just as important. My preparation leading into the Test series against India or South Africa or Sri Lanka is no different to what it is playing against England. So it was a no-brainer for me if I wanted to stay here and play these one-days. I want to play every game I can for Australia. I'll prepare today, and I have done over the past few days, like I would if it was the first test of the Ashes. It's just as important to me, this one-day series, and like you say, there's the pinnacle of one-day cricket is the World Cup, so we want to make sure we're playing some really good cricket when that comes around, and then we can obviously prepare for the Ashes once we get back to Australia.
Michael, given your well-chronicled problems with the back, is it not tempting to give up one form of the game, or whatever?
I think I've done that already. I've given up one form internationally, that's for sure. I don't think so. I don't know how many one-day games I've played. I'm not sure how many test matches I've played, but I've been pretty fortunate throughout my career that I've managed to stay on the park for the majority of those. I think it's obviously manageable. I feel as fit and as strong as I've been throughout my career, so I don't see any reason why I can't continue to manage it and play for a lot longer in both forms of the game. Like I say, I love one-day cricket. I love Test cricket as well, and I'm enjoying being a part of both teams and leading both teams. So right now, I certainly haven't even thought about it.
It would be easier, wouldn't it? Just because you are managing a chronic injury.
Yeah,
and you've done well to do that. But
with my body, though, I don't know if it would make much difference, to be honest. You look at my preparation leading up to the Champions Trophy. I had time off. I didn't go to the IPL, so I could get myself fit and strong. My preparation, my training was outstanding. I got over to England, and 5 days later, I'll do my back. So, I don't know what is the perfect preparation for my back. I know that I love playing Test and one-day cricket, and I think I can manage myself, my whole body, as well as I have done in the past, and that'll allow me to keep playing both forms.
Just going back to the Aussie bowling attack for this series, obviously you talked about those that aren't here, but the combination of young and old that are you quite excited by who you've got under your charge?
Yeah, I am. I think we've got a good mixture, youth and experience. We've got some guys that are looking forward to getting a chance, and we've got some guys that are keen to prove a point and push for selection in other forms of the game as well. So, tough job the selectors have got to work out who the best 3 or 4 quicks are. But it's not a bad problem to have. So hopefully we can come up with what we feel is the best 11 for this first game, and we'll assess from there.
Hazelwood was here 2 years ago, wasn't he, Josh?
It was a couple of years ago, and had success as well. Bowled really well. So good young bowler, has been successful for New South Wales in all 3 forms of the game. Continues to impress a lot of people when he gets opportunities. So I think he'll be keen as mustard to get a chance.
You mentioned before about the Champions Trophy not going to plan and as well as you'd like. How would you assess where you are as a one-day team in comparison to where you are as a Test team under your leadership?
I think we're ranked second in one-day cricket, and Test matches are we 4th still? Fifth. Okay, so I think there's a big difference. Look, we've got a lot of young players coming through our one-day system. There's no doubt about that. But I think in both forms of the game, we haven't been as consistent as we would like. I think in patches we've played really well, and generally at home in our own conditions we've played pretty well. But we need to perform when we're away from home. And our most recent trips to the UK have not been successful in the shorter form of the game, as well as the longer form of the game. So let's hope we can turn that around.
Michael, I know you were injured in the Champions Trophy and then obviously the Ashes defeat. Do you feel that this series is important for your captaincy before you go home, to face the music from the tour sort of thing?
I think every game you play for Australia is important, whether you're captain or not. When you're captain, you're accountable, especially when you're not performing well and your team's losing. So, I understand that, and more than this is, me wanting to win. This series has nothing to do with my captaincy. It's about this team where we're at. We're trying to move forward. We're trying to improve in the one-day format and get back to being the number 1 one-day team in the world, and that's why it's important to win this series.
Thanks very much.
Michael, can I just ask finally about the specifics of playing at Yorkshire from an Australian's point of view? The Yorkshire crowd's used to things like rugby league. They've got a sense of smash and grab. Can you put a show on for them?
We can do our best. If you guys can provide the weather, we'll provide the cricket. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Thanks, guys.